Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. With my wife and kids, we run an antique shop in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, filled with some of the most unique items we can find. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
From home, honey.
Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. I am at my store. Oh, you can't see it. Anyway, it's right there. I don't know why I felt there had to be sound effects, but there was. That was the bonus of the morning. Free sound effects. I am making a pit stop at the shop. I'm going to say hi to Sean, check and see how the business is going. But I'm going out to look at another classic car. Why, Alex? Why are you going to look at a classic car? Well, both the cars that I'm kind of restoring and working on right now are at the shop, which means my garage at home has been completely empty for a while, and that might give me just enough time to do one more car before the season shifts and the tides change here. What type of car am I going to go look at? It's a 1960s Jaguar. It's not an E-Type. That's what I want, folks. I want an E-Type really bad. This is not an E-Type. It's called a Mark II. It's a 3.4 liter. It's a classy car. Somebody started a restoration on it and they gave up. But you know what? That's where I like to step in, and that's when the price is at its best. So let's go check out the store first, and then we'll go on a field trip and go check out this car too. Oh, the leaves are changing color at the old store. Actually, they're more than changing color. They're dropping off of the trees. See what's shaking in the store. It's Sean, everybody. Dun, dun, dun. So everybody says, well, why don't you get Sean on camera more often? And that's mainly because when you're here, I'm not. But guess what? We're here at the same time. So how's the music going?
Oh, it's going good. Yeah, geez, I've been playing lots, starting back at school again, so I've got a bunch of different recording projects on the go.
Okay, and any inspirations for the type of music you're playing right now?
Yeah, you know, I've been trying to just write stuff about kind of really simple, everyday things that you see in Edmonton. So I've been writing about like magpies and sunflowers and really like simple stuff that I can kind of draw some metaphors out of.
Oh, very nice. See, the creative people that work here at the shop. And so when I'm away, what sort of things do you normally do around the store?
You know, that's a good question. I mean, a lot of it is just chatting with folks that come in, and that is honestly like why I really love this job. Because, you know, I'm not an expert on everything in the store, but when somebody comes in and wants to talk about, you know, antique rifles that they collect, I don't know anything about that, but it's really fun to sit and learn all that stuff. And
yeah, see, that's how you learn, right?
Yeah.
And you saw that. Well, I always tell people that when I am here and you're not, I stress because I want to make sure that it's in decent shape around here. So I got rid of a whole bunch of stuff. I could finally see the floor behind the counter.
Look at that space.
I know that was getting pretty full, and that's my own fault because I never really built a space for me to process stuff when it comes in. But we also got a whole pile of candy and stuff. This front shelf is our traditional general store kind of setup, but just wait until 3 o'clock or so today when the kids get off school. Yesterday, their little heads spun around, they pivoted on their neck. They weren't possessed. It wasn't like a poltergeist. I wasn't afraid. They weren't throwing up and spinning their heads around. But they were like, look at all the candy.
I've learned that Thursdays are early dismissal day.
Oh, yes.
One of the schools close to here. So, yeah, big rush, a little earlier than usual.
I wonder if they come home all, like, hopped up on candy, if the parents are like, what happened to you at school today?
First, that antique store.
I know, and it's crazy that the kids come in with, like, $5, $10 each to spend on candy. I don't know about you. You're younger than me, but did you have that kind of money to spend on candy when you were a kid?
No, we got like a toonie every week for allowance.
And for those watching elsewhere, toonie is just a $2 coin.
Yeah, $2.
Yeah, so $2 allowance, and that had to last you like a whole week, right?
Yeah, no local candy store either around where I grew up, which it's nice to work in a place where, you know, kids can have that then.
Yes, and I think the adults like coming in for it too.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm going to leave you to it. I'm headed off. We have a couple sales happening. One, this beautiful 1950s lamp with the fiberglass shade is selling I think we're doing $60 tax in on that. And I'm going to go off and look at a car that I shouldn't be looking at. So wish me luck.
Good luck.
Okay, and we'll see you soon, Sean. Bye. Okay, now this is what I do when Sean's running the shop. I get in my car or my truck or whatever I'm driving, and I go and I run errands, whether it's shipping stuff out or going to look at new things to buy. The fellow just called me and he said he's ready for me to come by and have a look at that car. Let's go check it out. Couple more minutes and I'll be there, and I noticed that little restaurant over there, they claim that they have the best kebab in all of Edmonton. I guess that means they skewer the competition. Let's go look at a car. All of these buildings along this stretch of road here are going to be torn out soon as the city puts in a big overpass, which means that some of the things that have been in storage have got to go. This might be a good opportunity to find some cool stuff at a good price. Sadly, Chris's Auto is closing as a result. They were the place to go for import car repair. This might be a chance to get a good deal on a neat car. He tells me I've got to walk around back. We're gonna look inside of a sea can container and see what's there. Now, they've got a few old cars sitting back here. There are all sorts of car parts. There's doors, there's hoods.
Yeah, they've got more in the shop.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a look in the shop too and see. The question is, where are the rest of the parts for this car?
Oh, that's probably a Brian.
Yeah, because the seats and all that.
What is it?
It's a Jag.
But it's a
3.4. It's a Mark II. The paint looks nice. You know, obviously somebody spent some money getting the paint done on it. It's unfortunate that it's a right-hand drive because that's kind of way less desirable, but I'm just gonna make sure the engine's under here. So this was the family's car, was it?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I would imagine Chris probably acquired it somehow.
Right. Sometimes people pay to get stuff done and then they don't want to. Oh look, there's no engine. It's really stripped down.
You have to see what Brian has inside.
So there it is. This is 3.4 liter, right?
Yeah, 3.4 liter, yeah.
Truthfully, the more desirable of the Jag engines. And yeah, at least the plugs are all in it, so hopefully it didn't get much for debris inside.
It's always been stored inside.
And it's tarped. And it looks like the carb is on it. So they pulled it. I mean, that would have been a big restoration job. When you pull an engine to paint a car, you're being serious about a job. So this guy was all in on this, and then you said he passed away, and that was that. Well, as tough as it is to say, I'm walking away from the Jag. I could probably get that car for just a few $1,000s. However, it's really dismantled. Hasn't stopped me before. The engine's out of it. That's expensive to put back in, and then you don't even know what kind of shape it's in. But the big thing is, even if I got it all back together, and even if I spent the time restoring it and reassembling it, it's a right-hand drive car, which means that totally reassembled, it's probably only worth 12 to 15,000 here as a repainted, nice-looking car. If it was a left-hand drive, maybe a little more, but the cost, the effort, the time it's going to take, there's no money. You could give me the car for free and it would still be a debate about whether I would take it home or not. So sadly, I left it there behind. He had a bunch of other car parts though. I passed along the info to my friend who has a shop, so perhaps he'll buy them and use them for his repairs that he's working on. That said, I'm gonna go home now and I'm gonna work on getting one of the old ticket dispensers built and put back together. It was a ticket taker machine that I picked up about a week ago. I'm gonna change out and we'll get to work on that and see if we can't repair the broken glass on it. Hey guys, so why am I leaving a Goodwill? Well, I have a bit of a craft project that I'm working on and I needed a piece of glass, so I've picked up an old, well, you would assume it's used, it came from a Goodwill store, picture. So it's 20 bucks for a big giant picture. All I need from it is the glass. I'm gonna run over to Home Depot now and get a glass cutter, and then when I get back, I'll show you what the project is. Apparently, somewhere around here, I'm supposed to find a glass cutter. Used to have one, I can't find it. Sometimes when you need something in your garage, it's buried. So I'm hoping that I can find one here. There we go, right there. So it's essentially like a little pen with a rolly wheel on it, and the idea is it'll score the glass and you snap it. Why do I need a glass cutter? Well, stay tuned and you'll see. So what was the glorious picture that I ended up buying? That. Don't really know exactly what that's supposed to be, but it was a good sized chunk of glass. Total cost $29 for that and the glass cutter. That should be enough to get what I'm fixing up fixed up. Oh, and I better show you what I'm fixing up too. Let's go back in the garage for a sec. You remember a while ago I went through a movie theater warehouse and I got these ticket taker machines? Well, that one just needs a bit of a cleaning. It's pretty well good to go. This would have had glass on the front, the side, so you could watch your ticket go in and get mulched. But look, I'm not a magician. Woo! There's no glass, but there will be soon. So I'm gonna get some sawhorses set up. We're gonna get ready to do some glass cutting, and I'll see if I can't put this all back together again and make it look the way it's supposed to look. Okay, well, we won't need any of this any longer. Next, we look to see how it's held in. Not a whole lot on the top there. Okay, it's got some little tabs here. We're gonna go and push those all over. So hopefully this should just pop out pretty easy. Looks like this isn't the first time somebody's been back here because some of the tabs are missing. All those down. Sometimes you have to use a screwdriver or pliers. These are really soft though, so they're pretty easy to knock down. Go. Now this should just kind of pop out now. There we go. It's coming loose there. So we're gonna gently just pop it out and then pull it up through the top. Just like that. Now that I've got the glass set up on the sawhorses, we're gonna do some measurements of the theater box and make sure we get it right. We're gonna measure a couple times before we cut. They always say measure twice, cut once. You don't wanna mess up on it because once you snap that glass, there's no going back. And since I'm in Canada, I'm gonna give the Canadians what they want. Metric measurements. So this is 25 centimeters. And we're gonna go right to the bottom here to find out the height by 23. So I think that's gonna be the same for both. Yeah, 23. And it should be 25. I might go a little less than 25, just a tiny bit less, because that might be too snug of a fit. So we'll do just nearly 25. But I think that'll give us the look. Now, I am gonna wash it. I'm not gonna repaint it. We're not gonna do a full restoration on it. Why? Because people actually prefer to have the vintage look. They'd like to know that something's been around, it's been used, it's not a new reproduction. And once you start repainting and doing it like brand new, you just can't tell if it's new or old. So we're gonna leave it so it's just looking the way it is, but we're gonna put the glass back in. When you're cutting glass with a glass cutter, you only have one shot at it. So you gotta measure a couple times, and you can only cut it in one stroke. You can't go back and do a whole bunch of different cuts. You gotta do it nice and even all the way down. Done this a couple times, Most of the time it works out okay, but today has to be one of those times when it works out. It can't be a mess up because I've only got so much glass to work with. Here goes nothing. Okay, drew my line, I scored it, and snapped it. So now I have to cut these pieces into little smaller chunks and fit them in place. And then we see if it fits. Perfect. 3 more to go. You know, 15, 20 years ago, maybe even less, people would take something like this and they would totally restore it. They'd strip it all down, they'd sand it, they'd make it look like brand new. And all that did was make people wonder if it was real or a replica. And so now, a lot of people really like the natural patina, so seeing the natural wear and tear. And in fact, people actually design and build things new to look like they've got wear and tear and use on them. So with a piece like this, you're better off really just to leave it alone. I'm just gonna give it a bit of a cleaning so that it feels better and a little bit more fresh, but I'm not gonna do too much to it at all, other than maybe a little bit of window dressing, make it look a little bit more sparkly than what it did. But you know how things change. Maybe one day somebody will restore this back to the way it was brand new, but that's not gonna be me. We'll leave that for the next person to decide what to do. Glass is installed. Now I've got this little cube. Ticket goes down inside, but there's one piece missing. Where is it? This guy. Probably gotta clean that up a little bit. That's what goes on top of this little cube, but sure is looking better already. That yellow paint cleaned up pretty nicely. We're looking at the back side of the unit. The front's actually the other side. This would have been where you took your tickets out at the end of the day. See if I can maybe get some of that tape off and clean it up a bit, and then we'll reinstall. I took the ticket collection bin out. Hires root beer can and some other debris in here. You can see what the finish was like originally. It was this sort of deep mahogany kind of finish. I imagine that would have looked pretty stately. I don't mind the yellow though. I think that looks pretty cool. And in the bottom, there's all these bits and pieces of old tickets that have been mulched up in there. I don't know what the oldest one is. Parts of old, maybe ceiling that collapsed at some point. But I can see there's some ticket stubs. See if I can pick one out of here. Try and get an idea if maybe the movie name is on it. Let's see. Nope. Maybe there's one that has a movie title on it. We can get an idea, or a amount, how much it cost. There we go. I'll poke around in here. It's kind of gross. Well, it looks like this was probably part of a ceiling collapse at one point. There's all sorts of drywall dust. The letter G. Weird. No money though. Not that you'd expect to find it, but you never know what somebody might have dropped in there at some point. So that's it. I got the old ticket taker box finished up. It's at the store on display right at the front entrance. It's looking good. As for the car, I might regret not picking that up, as you know, getting the body work done on that is probably the biggest expense that a person would have restoring a vehicle. But because it's been dismantled and in storage for over 10 years, there's probably a lot of parts missing from it, and that can be expensive to buy again. Plus, I'm not quite done the other 2 project cars I have. I thought that could be one I could handle myself in the next couple weeks, but it's a little bit bigger job than I thought. Either way, this is a really big week and I've got to stay focused, because what are we doing? We're auctioning off a whole pile of stuff. It ends on Saturday. That's just a couple days. And the money from that's going to be transformative. It's going to be able to hopefully really start to break ground and get things ready for that store to go up next door to my shop. And that's what I have to stay focused on. But a busy day, a fun day. I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for more episodes and we'll see y'all soon. Bye for now.